cardboard cutout of just his face. Big, wide smile. Almost like a sticker, like plastered on top of this helmet.
Interesting.
It's gone though.
Okay.
He went away.
Okay.
The session isn't a breakthrough, where everything comes flooding back. But I feel Paul with me. I see images of him laughing. The laugh I'd forgotten. Uncontrollable and contagious, his whole body shaking. I see a memory of him walking down a gravel road at summer camp. I see him pitching at this baseball game, where his hair fell in front of his face and made him mess up his throw. Everyone started laughing, and he thought it was funny too. Nothing ever seemed to bother him. Like for me, I think I would have been mortified to, or really embarrassed to have messed up in front of everybody and to have everyone laughing at me. He just kind of, I could just see him kind of like laughing, being like, yeah, that was stupid, I'm an idiot, kind of thing. I just started to cry when I saw him just laughing like that. I did a debrief with Christine a few days after our session, and she said something that stuck with me.
Those living memories are you. They cannot be separate from you. You are not separate from them.
Like, even if I don't consciously remember all the moments that I had with Paul, the sum of those moments has shaped who I am. They're all part of me. He's part of me. And that can never be lost. In one of my last sessions with Yvonne, she told me that one way to tell if my family's grieving process might be stuck somewhere is whether we still picture Paul as a 14-year-old, or whether we can picture him growing older. I asked my mom about it on what would have been Paul's 44th birthday, which is the same age my parents were when he died.
It was very sad this year. Maybe because of him being the same age as we were when he died, that we just kind of were very aware of all that time that was stolen from him, you know.
Did you get into thinking what he'd be doing now?
No, I don't want to do that. I really don't. I mean, sometimes I think, oh, your child and Sarah's children would love Uncle Paul, you know. But I don't want to make up a life for him that he didn't live.
I almost find those questions a little annoying. Like, ugh, you know, like he was enough as he was. You know what I mean? Like it was a full life, even if I feel it was a short life.
Yeah.
It was hard, and it still is hard for him to be static and for us to be changing, because we keep changing and he doesn't as well. And I think that becomes a constant readjustment against his stillness.
Why do you think that's hard, actually? Because in a way, I would think that would almost be comforting.
No, because I think what I miss is not who he was. Like what I miss is the ongoing relationship.
Right.
Like that's the mourning. That's the grief, is that particular relationship doesn't continue.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to keep creating, how how do I relate to I don't, when I was 16 and he was 14, that's a relationship. But now I'm in my 40s and he's 14.
When you think of Paul, do you think of him, at what stage of his life do you think of him?
Up until maybe he would have been getting into his late 30s, I thought of him as 14. Lately, I've been thinking, well, he would have been a 44-year-old man. And then I have to think about how that would have looked. I can't quite capture that. But I don't see him as that young boy the same way. So he's coming along with us. I talk to Paul a lot. I feel he's here.
I talk with Paul too sometimes. Mostly on the anniversary of his death. And every year on his birthday, I try to do something new. Something he never got the chance to do. One year I drove out to the Pacific Ocean. Another year, the desert. This year, I'm making this podcast. My mom recently found a school project Paul had to do in grade 5. A biography of his family. In it, he describes my sister as, quote, very kind, generous, and helpful to both me and my brother when we have problems in our homework. I like her very much. He says this about me. Although he likes to pretend he is a mancho-man-ninja, he is really a soft-hearted little boy who wants to be top man. I love him a lot. And that smell of rot that I smelled when I touched his body at his wake, that scared me whenever I got too close to the box of his bloody clothes in the basement. Every now and then, I smell that smell again. It comes out of nowhere. It doesn't scare me anymore, though. It feels like Paul trying to tell me something, or letting me know things are going to be okay. And it makes me smile.
I think that when Paul first died, one thing that really, really surprised me and made me pause was that sometimes people would say, oh, is it hard for you to see boys his age with their parents? And it was strange to me that I kept thinking that if I could have a son who's still alive, but who wasn't Paul, would I want that? And so I kind of thought, no, I want to be Paul's mother. I mean, this happened. I hate that it happened. But I would never have given up the opportunity of being Paul's mother and having Paul in my life. I was never envious of other mothers with their sons who weren't Paul. Paul was a gift. And I will always be grateful that I was Paul's mother. I'll always be grateful that I'm your mother. I'll always be grateful that I'm Sarah's mother. I wouldn't want it any different.
Who was your favorite kid?
Every one of you said to me, I know I'm your favorite. I know I'm your favorite. Each of you.
We reached out to the Montreal Police Department about certain details of this story. but they declined our request for an interview. Serge Markovic did not respond to our request for an interview. Sorry About the Kid is written and produced by me, Alex McKinnon, and Mira Burt-Wintonic. Editing and sound design by Mira Burt-Wintonic. Jeff Turner is our senior producer. Our theme music is by David Drury. S.K. Robert is our coordinating producer. Our associate producer is Caitlin Taylor. R.F. Noorani is executive producer. Our logo is by Mathilde Corbet. Special thanks to Yvonne Clark, Christine Clark, Joanna Fox, Eric Doherty, John Mishak, Cecil Fernandez, Tanya Springer, and to everyone I interviewed for the show, even those whose conversations didn't make it in. And a giant thank you to my family. I know it wasn't always easy. And if you like the show, we would love it if you would rate it and review it on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app. And also tell your friends about it. They can follow Sorry About the Kid on CBC Listen or wherever they get their podcasts. Thanks for listening.